You know, one thing I sense is just how positive the atmosphere is right now around everything connected with the ship channel and ship channel industry. This is just one of those moments where a lot of things are happening and a lot of things are expected and people are genuinely excited. You know, these are cyclical industries. It doesn't always feel that way, but it feels really good, both what's happening at the moment and the discussion of things that are right on the cusp, like the energy transition activity we talked about. So it feels really good. You know, we talked a lot about the need for infrastructure, which is critical. We talked about the need to kind of keep our elected officials aligned with what we're trying to do and keep them in a positive mode. I thought that was well put. But I feel really good about what I heard today, and you know, you always read your audience in something like this, and I sense they shared that enthusiasm. Of course, the big challenge that comes with growth, we talked about infrastructure before, the other is a need for a workforce. And the other big challenge for this region is to create that next generation of skilled workers that are going to be needed when we talk about the hydrogen economy or carbon capture or everything else we're doing, this the general petrochem expansion, hugely in need of skilled workers. And while we've made progress, I would say in the last 10 years, you know, our Upskill Houston program has been part of that, working with all these players. But I think the next decade or two may be even more challenging. We're talking about such a massive expansion around this topic of energy transition. We need to be asking ourselves, all right, but do we have the workforce? And specifically, can we help train workers from this area, East Harris County? Can we make them that workforce? You know, as much as we may need to draw on workers from a broader area, wouldn't it be great if we could go into the disadvantaged communities in this part of the county and actually create pathways for people to gain the skills and be successful? You know, there's a lot of people working in East Harris County in low-wage jobs, just there are in other parts of the region. But wouldn't it be something if we could create pathways for those people to get the skills to move into these higher-wage jobs that we're about to create? It's a win-win for everybody. Well, we need productive dialogue in the organizations that have a key role to play. TxDOT, we do have a good relationship with TxDOT. I think the region, we need to maintain that. Houston-Galveston Area Council is a critical body. They've always played a productive role. We need to make sure that they remain productive in that sense. There's always people throwing stones at the Houston-Galveston Area Council, but I would say they have played a very productive role. We need Houston City Council and Harris County Commissioners Court to maintain a productive mindset towards what we're doing. We need everybody on board. You know, it really just takes one bad actor to slow things down or derail things. And it's just critical in Houston that we keep everyone on board with this, hey, growth equals opportunity, and growth requires infrastructure. And we just have to get everybody on that page. You know, to some extent, Houston, in the old days we would say it was counter-cyclical, literally counter-cyclical. I don't think you would say it's counter-cyclical today, but we have a certain degree of independence from the national economy. We're more tied to the global economy than we've ever been, so we have to pay attention to what's happening globally. You know, we have a export-driven economy in many respects, and so it matters. You know, the demand has to be there. Right now it's there, but the discussions about a potential global recession certainly catch my ear, and that could be problematic. Houston's economy is strong. The national economy is you know, kind of teetering a bit. The global economy, depending on what part of the world you're talking about, is having some issues. You know, so we will be impacted if the world slides in a certain direction. We'll be probably saying all the while that we're in better shape than anyone else. And so in relative terms, yeah, we're in great shape, but we're still very connected. The way Houston operates is we work together, we collaborate. That doesn't just happen. It takes organizations like the Economic Alliance and others throughout the region. We're kind of a patchwork of strong organizations that kind of take their part of the community, either their industry or their geography, and really create an effective, cohesive whole. And that's what the Economic Alliance for the Port region has done, certainly for the 10 years I've been at the Port, and I'm sure much longer than that. They've been a good partner of ours, the Greater Houston Partnership. You know, sometimes we get credit for things that other people do, and we rely very heavily on these relationships, and we specifically on this relationship. This part of the Greater Houston region drives so much of the Houston economy. So we pay a lot of attention at the partnership to what's happening here and the relationships we have here. We're so fortunate. The community colleges, San Jacinto College, Lee College, that serve this region, you know, tremendous institutions, make a huge difference. ECMA and the Economic Alliance together in their own way make all the difference in the world. The partnership has really been intent on building stronger relationships with all of these groups, because we can't do what we do without that support. I mean, we have to collaborate. We go to Washington together, we go to Austin together. in many respects, we're serving the same industry players. We just in our own unique way. Events like the one we've held today they're important for building relationships. You go for the content. I think when you look at an agenda and you decide, do I want to go or do I not want to go? You first think, oh, what's the content? And that's certainly important, right? You need to walk away knowing something you didn't know previously. But the ultimate value of events like this is the relationships that you form, people you meet, people that you see that you haven't seen in a while. Because that's how things happen. That's how business is done. That's how Houston presents itself to the world is, hey, this is a city where we know each other, we work together, we kind of all have the same objective in mind. And that's what comes out of events like this. It doesn't just happen. It's not in the water, it's not in the air, it's efforts like this that brings everyone together.